Hey folks, it's Ben. We're back with the 89 Ford Probe. We've gone through the tour, so that's pretty awesome. But what we're going to do next is we're going to see if we can get it started. Now, honestly, I'll tell you right now, I don't think we're going to get it started today because I believe it has a fuel pump issue. But the reality is we need to find out, maybe it's something else. Could be a fuel relay, could be something in the electronics that's not working correctly. So the fuel pump might actually not be getting power. And if that's the case, if we can fix that, well, we can be on our way. So what we need to do is drill down to the problem. So that's what this video is going to be about today, is we're going to be dealing with the fuel system here. So we have our little indicator there of anything going on with that really nasty fuel filter. And we've got our keys that are in it, and we've got battery power, so we're winning here. Now, I didn't know until I started reading in the manual, and I bought a Haynes manual online to kind of figure out Ford probes, because I'm pretty good with GM cars, like I said, but not Ford probes. This is awesome. The fuel tank and the fuel pump is under the rear seat, so we can actually take the rear seat out and then we can access the fuel pump, and that's where our electrical connections are, and that's where I'm going to start, because we can pretty much eliminate a lot of things. If we're getting power to that pump, then we just go from there. If we're not getting power, then we'll chase it back to find out where it's getting shut off. So next step for us is getting out that rear seat. So that's what a good one looks like. You just push the button and it releases the little seat here. And so this one is broken. It'll be fine, but we'll just pull this. Oh, nice. Build sheet of some kind. Let's take a look. I'm going to be the last owner of this car, so we can take that off. I'm cool with that. On this sheet here, we've just got, it was built on the 9th, 13th. So in September 13th, there's the 14th date, so it's an 88 car. Awesome. More paperwork for the scrapbook. We've got that and that. And we have our rear seat out. So let's go put this aside. Okay, so now we've got all our back seat goodies here. We've got our insulation panel, which I guess I could have taken out. Looks like they glued it in. The glue is failing. Looks like it doesn't want to come out from under there, but that's okay. Looks like it, prior person had bent it over. We can stick that out of the way. And we have another code. Cool, put that with our paperwork. And here we have some stickers. Let's go in the trash. A bolt, okay, and miscellaneous other things. So nothing cool on this side, so not much done in the back seat here. That's neat. Let's get back to the point here, though. We've got our panel, and those look like, yeah, they're Phillips screws. So, and then we have our plug, which is Velcro. What is this? It feels like Velcro. It's not, though. It's just rubber. But let's go ahead and take this panel off. Looks like it's got only 3. That's weird. 3 Phillips screws to take out, and we can remove access. And this is obviously where our fuel power is coming through. That's just a neat grapple right there. Pretty specific. 4 Phillips screws on our way. Okay, so there is a 4th screw. It's under this plug here. So there are 4 Phillips screws, just these little guys, to hold this panel down. So far we're in it as to take the rear seat off, undo 4 Phillips screws. We'll lift this panel up, and let's see, what do we have here? It's kind of hard to get out of the way. I wonder if I should unplug that, or if I can unplug that. Because it's gonna be, yeah, here's the tank, super dusty and not very lit well. There we go. That's the side I want to see. So I'll grab my super light here so we can give us some light. There, we're talking. So here's our fuel tank, fuel in and fuel out, and our power connectors. And let's see what's under this plug, just for documentation's sake. I bet you it's a plug I can disconnect. It's taped together, and it's gonna let us get this access panel right out of here. So let's quickly figure this out. Usually they're just a quick pry, and we'll get this little whole panel right out of the way. So underneath this plug, there is a little push button obviously. Most of these have that. So you press the button and you can pull it straight out. That releases doesn't release our panel, but it releases some of the wiring, because there'll be at least two things going on here, right? We've got a fuel level sender, right, to tell us our fuel gauge, and we should have a pump connection. So we've got power. My guess is that the pump has not been changed on this car. The previous owner wasn't sure, but my guess is no, because it's just super dirty here, and if it had been changed and not driven, we wouldn't have all this dirt. So I'm gonna grab the vacuum. Let's get this dirt out of here, and maybe we can see a little better, and then we can do a little testing. My camera's getting cold, so I'm running out of time. So we've got a cool stamp down here. It's actually stamped, and I'm overexposing it, but it says 88, like 10/9/88 or something like that. So obviously my 89 is built in September, so it's our early model year. It's got 12 volt written on the stamp right down here too. And if I had to guess, we've got 2 of the year and 2 here, which are probably going to be our gauge. And we've got 2 bigger cables, which are probably going to be our pump, which are red and yellow. Kind of looking at my other plug here, I think I'm going to... Oh, let's pop that right off. So assuming that the red and the yellow are power to the pump, we come up to our plug here, and the red is on the upper left, and the yellow is on the lower right of our plug, which of course does not translate to the same colors on this plug, because why would you do that? So the upper left is going to be yellow, so red converts to yellow, and our yellow one actually converts to a very solid white, which kind of says it's probably, oh wait, lower right, it's going to be black. So, yep. So we can test our power, the upper right, lower left, and hopefully when we put the key on, we'll get 12 volts on here. I got my digital multimeter here. What I'm going to do is test it first by throwing it across the battery, make sure it can read 12. Then we'll stick the probes in and hit the key. So very long story short, the battery was deader than a pancake in this thing, so I threw the charger on it, but it's a smart charger, so you have to boost that charger to think it has a voltage to put power on the darn car. So long story short, it works. Or I should say, there's power to this plug on the 2 plugs that I suspect are actually for the fuel pump. We probably ought to pull the pump anyway. Well, we know it's not working, but you know, it's got a screen in there, and so we ought to inspect that. To be honest with you, it looks like it's just a bunch of Phillips screws again. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's a bunch. And we've got to get these fuel lines off with a pair of pliers. So let me pry those off, and hopefully there won't be too much in there. And then we'll go ahead and drop it. Well, it won't tell me an actual fuel gauge now I unplugged it, but hopefully there's not too much gas in here. Give us a chance to suck all that stuff out as well, because it's old. We need to get it out of there. So I'll see you with a whole bunch of Phillips screwdrivers later. Okay, so with the fuel lines pulled back, and it's just, they're simple basic fuel lines, and all the little Phillips screws removed. They're just these little cute ones here, and we already vacuumed out most of the dirt. There's a seal here. These 2 pins. Don't know how sealy it's gonna be or not. Not very. What it's gonna do is make my car smell like gas for the next month, as I break open the whole seal, and the pump assembly is in here somehow. It's full of gas. Nice. Glad I got that fuel siphon kit. It is full of gas.
Full, really full.
Yep. So, wait a little bit. Oh, the fuel pump's from the side. And then there's the float I'm beating the hell out of. And the sock. There we go. So that's the fuel pump assembly, and I'm gonna hop out of the car here and put my hand under it, because that's gonna, oh no, wait, I got a carpet. Let's put that under that and get it out of here. We'll do it's a very flat pan, and there's the sediment where I guess that's where the pump must sit, and it's not very deep, but I guess it wouldn't be. This is the tank, and then there's that little dish that's hard. Is it in there? Yeah, part of the tank, and a lot of sediment. So when we siphon this gas out of the tank, we'll try to suck out all the dirt too. And yeah, it's just long and super full, so I don't know the gallonage, but it'll be a lot. So my lawnmowers will have a lot of stuff to burn this year. Or maybe the truck. We'll see. Something. Okay, so totally wrong on the red and the yellow. It's the double wires that are actually what go down to the pump that's here. But that's fine, because look at this thing. It is awful. A lot of corrosion on the pump, so I have no doubt this thing has failed. The level sender's probably okay, but look, we got corrosion underneath. The sock is, this may have torn out, but it's not coming out, and I'm spilling gas everywhere. But, because that sock is full. Can you grab me an orange container over there? Any orange container that doesn't have a bolt in it. Probably the ones on the oil rack. Okay. So we have switch over to here. There we go. The sock is full of gas and dirty. It's got lots of corrosion and rust on it. So we'll go ahead and order a replacement pump. I think everything else is okay, like the wiring. Even the seal is probably fine. And that's what the rubber was for, is the seal under here. So we'll get one on order and coming in. Local guys are a little expensive on this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and order it online. I can save a significant amount of money. And the kit comes with lots of things. We've got the pump, obviously. We got a little rubber piece that goes up to the exit nozzle here. Thing to note, though, that I wasn't expecting is that the pump is actually, well, I guess the pump is technically up and down, but the top is sideways. So I was figuring we'd pull it straight out, and we didn't. It was kind of a side pull there. Plus, my fuel tank is completely full of gas, so we're gonna drain that out, because that doesn't help anything. It's really old, stinky gas. Like I said, it's gonna make my car stink, so I'm gonna disconnect the battery and probably leave the doors open so I can stink up my Quonset a little bit. But that's where we're at. So we'll call this part 4, I think, and then we'll do part 5. We'll be just getting the rear seat out because I suck at that. And we'll get some parts on order. So the next part will be me changing out this pump, and we'll throw it in there and see how we do. So if you have any questions, I should probably go ahead and test on the other 2 contacts there, just to be sure they're cool. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them. And if there's anything interesting on the test of this, it doesn't matter. I'm changing this pump out. I don't want to be in the middle of somewhere and have this thing die on me. And it's been sitting, look at that. I think it's just been sitting too long. That it's just, yeah, it's got to go. So if you have any questions, leave them. Subscribe to Turbo231 for more exciting Ford Probe videos and all sorts of other cool videos. And we'll see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Leave any questions or comments down below. And be sure to subscribe to my channel for awesome updates on what I'm doing. Please check out the next video I've got lined up for you. And also check out my Patreon page if you want to support what we're doing here. And finally, check out my other less tractory page, Red Barn Homestead. You can subscribe to that too, see some awesome stuff. And we'll see you next time.